Shalom Aleichem, Rabbi Sai. This is Rabbi Yehuda Levin. The program is the Fear Kashis, which is heard each and every Wednesday from 7:45 for 13 minutes. If you have a header for the internet, you could also see most of our programs on thefearkashis.com. Excuse me. Last week, I seemed to have ignited a bit of a firestorm when I, on my radio program and on the video of my program, stated that one of the things we might consider in trying to decipher what HaKadosh Baruch Hu is asking from us as a community. In other words, definitely everybody has to seek what he personally can do tshuva from and to better ourselves when there's a tragedy. But there might be a communal aspect as well, and using the concept of cause and effect and tracing back from effect to cause and taking into consideration what has happened recently and the fact that no less an authority than Rabbi David Feinstein, I heard, said that 3 Gedolei Yisrael may have perished, the 3 Rosh Yeshivas, and then others who perished shortly after them, Rabbi Chaim Sonner, Rav Leiby Keletsky, and others, that I heard that Rav Feinstein said that this is connected with the passage of same-gender marriage. I wonder if he actually said that or not, but I was also informed that Rabbi Zvulun Weisberger, speaking in the very right-wing camp or Shraga in the Shir to women, made the same statement. He attributed, not B'derech maybe, but he seems to have attributed that the murder and tragedy of Leiby Keletsky was connected with the terrible passage of same-gender marriage. I was also informed by somebody in Eretz Yisrael that Rabbi Avram Steinmetz, who is a Mekubal in his 70s, who lives in Bnei Brak, where he actually works during the day, and is not so well known, but it seems that, according to my information, he also stated that the reason, or a reason, because remember, Hashem multitasks, there are many reasons, and one possibility, and Rabbi Steinmetz seemed to feel, was because of this passage of same-gender marriage. I also understand that on Shiva Asa B'Tamaz, in a program which I didn't hear, but I was informed by somebody, a Talmud Chacham from Lakewood, informed me that Rabbi Simcha Bunim Cohen, the grandson-in-law of Rav Avigdor Miller and the Mechaber of many halachic svarim, also on Shiva Asa B'Tamaz, in a speech which is recorded on Kol HaLashon, indicated a connection between the brutal murder of the Korban and Kadosh Leiby Keletsky, Zechreinu Levracha, Olav HaShalom, connected that with the passage of same-gender marriage. You know, it's rather sad, and believe me, I by the way, parenthetically, I just want the Olam to know that if you do have a header for the internet, I did cut another video which is almost an hour in length, and I bring down Gemara and Torah sources that, if you put the dots together, shows the severity of the offense of not being moicha against immorality. The Petira took place, the horrific crime took place in the Parsha of Pinchas, and if you look in the Sepurnos, you see the last Sepurno in Balak and the second one in Pinchas, you see that the whole story of the terrible tragedy of the killing of all those Jews in the Magefa took place because Jews weren't moicha. If you look in the Me'am Loyes, you see that while the Torah only says 24,000 Jews died, if you look in Rashi on the psukim before that, in the end of Balak, when Moshe Rabbeinu was informed by Hashem to take the leaders and have them stand up people in front of the sun, Rashi says that there were 8 myriad, meaning 8 times 20,000 plus another 8, for a total of 168,000 dayanim, and each of those dayanim were judging two people. So there's a machlokes between Rashi and the Ramban. Rashi seems to say that close to 200,000 Jews were killed, and the Ramban says they were supposed to be killed, but Pinchas saved them actually by doing what he did to stop the Magefa. But the point is that if you look in the Me'am Loes, in one of his last Mahalchim, he has several different methodologies to dealing with this. It seems to be that he's explaining that worse than the worshiping of idols and worse than the licentiousness that took place was the fact that the many Jews stood by and did nothing to protest. So it's just very interesting in the weeks surrounding this concept. That's also in the terrible tragedy of the murder of Reb Leiby Keletsky took place. There are foolish people who think somehow that when I'm saying this, it insults the parents. If I say that this child was chosen for whatever the reason, this we don't know, but he was obviously chosen to be a korban for Klal Yisrael and to give Klal Yisrael the ability to come out and to show concern for a fellow Yid. And you know what was on everybody's mind. What was on everybody's mind was that they were trying to save this boy who they knew was kidnapped, and they assumed it was a molester. In the Ami magazine this past week, they had a forensic psychiatrist, and he said, obviously, that this guy is a molester. If you think I trust the New York City police, that they're actually giving us the full story of what happened to Leiby Keletsky, it's quite possible. I mean, there are a lot of things in the story that don't make a lot of sense. If you see the videos and you see the way he was walking, he didn't seem like a child who was terribly afraid. He was very carefree gait. If you see the fact that he was in a video, we were told he was in a video in a gas station in Muncie, going to the bathroom, and the gas station man didn't see anything strange, like the kid was under any duress when he was going to Muncie. The way he followed the killer into the car. There were a lot of strange things here going on. And for all I know, again, I don't know, I'm just saying, it's a lot of modern things happening. And I don't know if the child was molested or not. I don't know if I believe the police, but it makes absolutely no difference if he was molested. And it makes no difference if this Aaron Levy is taka a deviant pedophile or not. What I said is this was patterned after what Amalek did to the Jews in the 4 steps. I described it. And I said this is a possibility we should think about. And I'm not going back in that. You know what's very, very sad? The video was picked up by Voss's Nayas and had close to 180 comments. An overwhelming majority hurled invective at me. How dare me? Dare I say this? And I am Maya Navi or something. And, you know, most people, if you're eating Enterman's or Dunkin's Donuts, if you're busy stuffing up on sushi and you're listening to the current crazy Jewish music and going on Caribbean vacations, and then you expect suddenly to have a sensitivity to hashkafa, the fact of the matter is that I was given a job assignment by Gedolei Yisrael from 2 generations ago. B'ksav, people like the Kasher Rav, Rav Avigdor Miller, Rav Avram Leitner, the Sklena Rebbe, the Debretzina Rav. I'm not going to go through this again and again. I have 32 years of experience. And again, the bloggers and the jokers who make these negative comments, they're probably not even aware of the truth of the Chassam Sofer that says that rather than take a child who needed to be institutionalized because he wasn't 100%, and he would receive better care in an institution, but just because he would drink cholav akum, and that's metamtam the leiv, it stops the cup spiritually and mentally. The Chassam Sofer said he should stay at home with his parents and all of the tircha that a lifetime of taking care of that child involves. I'm just saying a lot of our people who are busy, airheads, I mean, they plapel shtusim, they screaming, yelling, how dare I say that Hashem does such a thing to an innocent child? They never heard of the Holocaust. They never heard of the pogroms. What do these foolish people think the pogroms of Tach V'Tat were about? Do you know what the Mefarshim said? The Shach, the Tosfos Yontif, you know what they said? That because people were talking in shul, tens of thousands of Jews, women and children were slaughtered, violated, etc. How would these people deal with that kind of a thing? Hashem waits until the cup fills up, and then eventually he responds. And as people who understand said, not everything caused the mabul. The last thing before the mabul was kaisvin ksubal izacha. Amalek, the worst possible enemy of God, asher korcha baderech lashon mishkav zachar. People don't understand that that there's been a terrible chilul Hashem going on. There's an Israeli organization called Hod of Orthodox Deviants. There's an organization called Gay and Lesbian, Bisexual, Transgender Alumni of Yeshivas and Day Schools. There's an organization called ASHEL of Orthodox Deviants that made a Shabbaton reported upon recently over the winter and the forward. There is 200 Orthodox rabbis who a year ago in Av, modern Orthodox weirdos, who stand Torah and Hashkaf on its head, who said we have to honor and respect open deviants and their families in the context of an Orthodox synagogue. We have Orthodox politicians who are Machal Shem Shemayim Barabin, Sheldon Silver, David Weprin, and who's running for Wiener's seat. And nobody protests against them when they say these offensive things in the assembly. We have Dov Heikind even saying an offensive thing. If it wasn't for this Torah, I would be fighting for gay marriage, which is a tremendous ignorance, Dov. You maybe ask Yoni if somebody to teach you the Jewish hashkafa, we would never be fighting, even without a Torah, even Sheva Mitzvahs B'nai Noach, we're obligated. This is a capital offense, a Chiyuv Misa. Then somebody comments, Levin is the same kind of a Michigan who says that the earthquakes in Haiti with all the people being killed had something to do with homosexuality. No, you foolish person. It's not me. It's the Yerushalmi that I quoted that says, Ba'avoin mishkav zocha comes earthquakes, and the pasuk in Tilim, Vatirad ha'aretz vatigosh, and Haiti had the largest amount of AIDS victims of this kind of misbehavior. And after a certain time, the cup runneth over. I strongly advise people who have a heter for the internet to listen and or view my almost 1 hour part 2 video of perhaps, or maybe something, and it's on the fearcautious.com or on my internet YouTube site of the Fear Cautious, where I go into Torah sources and I flesh out things, and I also show, provide 6 minutes of Rav Avigdor Miller, which I once played on a previous program, in where if you listen to what Rav Miller is saying, you see very clearly what his hashkafa is on these types of things. Did Aguda or any organization bemoan this past Sunday, the first day of a same-gender marriage, where thousands of Gentiles came out across New York State? Was there even a press statement from our people, besides for the 70 Hasidim and Orthodox Jews who joined together with me in protesting side by side with the Gentiles? Did they tell us to say a capital Tillim? Did they issue a press statement? Do you know that Mayor Bloomberg married 2 Jewish homosexuals openly on the steps of City Hall, and then he had them breaking glasses like at a traditional Jewish wedding? Did anyone speak about that? Why are our leaders, why are Satmar, Lubavitch, Young Israel, Agudas Yisrael, RCA, why are they all potter from saying anything? Do you know that people say a Baruch Shepatrani by davening because Jewish children, innocent children, do die for many times for sins of adults? My dear friends, I protested child abuse to the Moetzes Gedolei HaTorah of Torah Masorah in the 1980s already, far before anybody else of the latecomers did. So this is Rabbi Yehuda Levin. Please pass on this radio program, A Guten Tamid.